So definitely some things to talk about, regarding the Philadelphia Eagles, what they've been doing this past week to kind of get this team back on target, really, mentally. And, what are they doing at practice? What are they doing to get better? What are they trying to fix? Is the scheme going to change a little bit? Is the play calling going to be better on both sides? The Eagles are 10-3 right now and definitely are in a loop to where this is really a big game Monday night against Seattle, in Seattle, which the Eagles really recently haven't done well there in a while. And I'm not really thinking about the other team too much. I'm kind of thinking about more of, are the Seahawks beatable 100%? But can this team really get back on track? This is a do or die type week this week to see if, things are starting to get better mentally between the roster and obviously more of a focal point on Nick Sirianni's game plan, whether it's piggybacked off of BrianJohnson and obviously Sean Desai's horrible play calling as well, as much as we don't like the scheme too much, is going to be interesting. So I want to go through the injury report from Thursday, what is likely to happen this weekend, and kind of go through some things at practice that really... It's really bothering me how these teams, I don't know if this is with every team, but how this team is coached up during the week. And let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Well, we have a few more days till we have our game here on Monday night, and hopefully an embarrassment is not going to happen. Like I said, this is a do or die week for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we always try to think to ourselves, the Eagles are turning the ball over. The Eagles fumbled the ball 3 times against Dallas. Now, we're going through this from game to game. As of recent, what are the Eagles doing wrong? What is, besides the play calling, besides the obvious ones we've kind of been talking about all week, but, protecting the football, you fumbled the football in Dallas territory 3 times. I don't care if you get those turnovers back. I don't think the Eagles still win that game regardless of the penalties were missed, turnovers, whatever the case may be. The Eagles just weren't mentally there for a second week in a row, and the play calling was subpar, like I said, for the millionth time this week. But there's even what they're doing at practice, okay, which is really, I get what they're doing, but is it the most realistic way to practice trying, for ball security? I mean, it's almost to a point where I'm kind of like, it looks kind of corny. It looks like it's unrealistic at times. I mean, they're literally putting Jalen Hurts in these little things they're doing at practice for ball security and the team in general. Okay, now tell me if this is realistic here. Having a football connected to a thin string that is pulled by a pole, okay, or your hand, whatever, while this other coach has a mini boxing glove dummy thing poking at you while you're trying to go down. You go down, they try to pull the ball, you're pretty much holding the ball as they're pulling it by the string, and there's a little mini dummy pull thing pillow that they hit you with once in a while as you're getting up. I feel like that's the most unrealistic ball security drill I've ever seen. I don't know if this is just the way the NFL is right now. I get it, the way, running backs, the running back coach, what he does with the running backs with the boxing gloves, and he punches the crap out of them. I like that a lot because that seems more realistic. Deuce Staley did the same thing when he was here with the running backs. But this shit is so unrealistic. Seriously, you have human strength arms and hands going at you, 3 bodies on you trying to rip the ball out. I mean, a football connected to a string that you're pulling, and one guy with the little miniature pillow stick, and he's literally just trying to, hit you a couple times as you're getting up. I mean, it's not realistic. I mean, you're talking about humans with 5 fingers on each hand trying to rip the ball out with really good strength and multiple players on the defense doing that to one of your offensive guys, whether it's your running back, your quarterback, whoever it is. Everybody needs ball security. Everybody's got to be good at it. Everybody, you can't give up, these turnovers like that. Last week was a problem, which I think BrianJohnson really BrianJohnson is making it a game-to-game thing where, he's talking about the Cowboys and how they stripped the ball from us 3 times and us fumbling the ball as the major concern. Well, if we didn't do that, we'd be in a different, like trying to make that the more of the big excuse for why the Eagles lost this game, kind of putting it more on the players than more on himself, kind of like a scapegoat type thing, putting himself as a scapegoat to the players that are making mistakes, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. Okay, but I don't know if these drills have just gotten worse over an amount of time. I mean, I would rather them run through the dummy, I forgot what it's called, the thing when you run through that slows you down with all those pillows that are inside that you have to run through a whole bunch of them. I'd rather them do that than this pull string football miniature pillow stick bullshit that they're doing. And they're making Jalen Hurts do it. I don't know. Are these the drills that the NFL does? Are these what every team does? Because this is just not realistic enough. Now, supposedly, Nick Sirianni it was supposed to be like more of a walkthrough the other day, that they were supposed to be a lot lighter the other day at practice. But Nick actually had them go in full pads and say, we're going to be a little physical. And because obviously the Eagles need it, because I don't think their practices are as fantastic as everyone thinks it is. I don't think they're aggressive enough. I understand you can't get guys hurt. I understand it 100%. But you know what? You have to put that to the side, and you got to get these guys tough, and you have to get these guys physical. And I'm sorry, but these little light things, and once they get into a game, they're totally surprised. 3 turnovers, like I said, is too much, obviously. It's one game, I get it, but compared to other weeks, we fumbled a couple times. Not too much this year, but at the same time, it's happened. We could turn around a huge game by that. But I just feel like what they do at practice is just so, like, these are guys getting paid millions of dollars, and they're getting hit with sticks. I mean, it's just... I don't know if it sounds stupid. Is this what every team does? I don't know, but I don't like it. I can't stand it. I think it's stupid, and I'm hoping. I hope this kind of worked this week. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess we'll see when the time comes. Now, secondly, I want to go over. There was a lot of content creators on Twitter making, this is a horrible picture, by the way, because I try to get a better picture of it. But there's content creators on Twitter, people that just cover plays and why the Eagles are failing so much. Now, this is regarding to the defense. Now, this is a split picture. The left side is the Dallas Cowboys. The left side is the Dallas Cowboys on defense. The right side is the Eagles on defense. And look at the difference you're seeing when teams give pressure. The left side, the Dallas Cowboys, okay? What's the difference in both of these pictures? Okay, we know that when the Eagles blitz, it's the most slow, they don't know how to close a pocket. They don't know how to blitz. They're not taught, because you're playing in such a passive system, and especially this defensive line is just not capable right now. Even if they blitz linebackers, it's just not enough. Okay, the right side is the Eagles, and look how much space that Dak Prescott has, and this is like 4 seconds in, at least like 4 seconds into a play, and that's how much space Dak Prescott has. If you see a bunch of white jerseys in an upside down U shape or a C shape, you should say, that's not a good sign. That means that the Dallas Cowboys have their blocks. We can't, and literally look how much space is there. It's ridiculous. 4 seconds in to the left side of the picture, which is the Dallas Cowboys on difference. What is the difference here? Look at all the white jerseys all over the place in different areas. The Eagles jerseys, green jersey here, there. The Dallas Cowboys has probably a lot of other defenses out there that know how to blitz and know how to close a pocket, and that's been the main reason you could beat Jalen Hurts in that fashion. A heavy blitz on Jalen Hurts, 9 out of 10 times you're winning that play, because like we've said this past week, the past couple of weeks, and players have started to speak out that these wide receiver route combinations are taking too long to develop for these plays to be consistent and to be quick. When's the time where Hurts starts under center and just throws the ball immediately? I have never seen a quick pass from him that fast off the line ever this year. And it's been a huge problem where they're looking for a 20, 25, 30-yard pass, over 15 to 25-yard pass every single time. And it's really annoying. I mean, let these players work. This is what they get, give these receivers short yardage and let them make up the yards themselves. This is why you pay those guys after the catch. You know what I mean? So I understand, you want to throw the dagger shot downfield, but some of this shit is just not going to work. And from both pictures, from the Cowboys on defense on the left side of this picture, the Eagles on the right side of this picture, it's a huge difference. This is about 4 seconds in. I kind of fast forward it about 4.5 seconds in, and look at the pressure that's there. It's insane. The Eagles are not even close to getting pressure. Literally white jerseys in a literal C, if I'm pointing you at the right way, whatever. It's almost perfect, and the Eagles are just... Teams just know how to collapse the pocket. Teams are taught how to blitz. And when you're in such a non-aggressive system like this, and I understand defensive line should always be aggressive, but sometimes you have to, send a fifth guy. And the Eagles are bottom tier when it comes to blitzing, at least blitzing quarterback hits, blitzing sacks. I mean, the Eagles don't get much of those, and because we can't hit home. And by the time the second quarter hits, the end of the second quarter, end of the first half, the Eagles are tired as hell, gassed as hell, because the Eagles are too pass happy in the first half. And then by the second half, your defense is tired as shit. Now, I understand that the Eagles have the roster has pulled out some wins defensively, no doubt, and clutch moments this season, but it's not going to work every single game. So that's what I kind of wanted to go over regarding the blitz between both teams happened last week. But I'm not even just saying about the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of teams that know how to blitz and are aggressive. Probably more than 3/4 of the teams that are in the league right now know how to do this. And the Eagles are just a big failure at it right now. And like I said, Jalen Hurts is what the blueprint is on Jalen Hurts right now is a heavy blitz on Jalen Hurts. He takes too long to read. And unfortunately, these route combinations are just not doing enough. And either Hurts has been missing guys wide open at times, or he bails out too early. It's happened a lot this year. And that's when you start to not trust your offensive line or start not to trust your wide receivers on these certain plays, because these routes will take a lot of time to develop. There are times where Jalen Hurts has 9-10 seconds of literals, protection, and he still can't find anybody. I can't even see what's going on half the time. What routes they're running the longest route possible, but by the time they break, Hurts can't even sit there anymore. So, the coaching aspect is a huge, these guys aren't pushed, and these guys aren't taught. These guys aren't pushed to hurt a fucking butterfly, literally. I mean, that's just what it is right now, and it's unfortunate. So kind of want to go over that. And then lastly, the injury report on Thursday. So it looks like Reed Blankenship has already been in a light practice, so he'll be back from concussion protocol. I'm actually kind of surprised. I really liked Sidney Brown at safety a lot. Apparently, so Slay didn't practice. He's had the knee issue all year. Cam Jurgens had the pectoral from last game. He went back in, but he did not practice. Probably just resting. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping he's playing, but God forbid, I really don't want to see a right guard being out for this game. Zach Cunningham did not practice either with the knee injury, so he's back on the injury list. Devontae Smith didn't practice, but he'll be back. They rest a lot of the wide receivers during the week, which hopefully, they did some. I know Reddick sat out as well, but he practiced. So I think relatively we're pretty healthy right now, besides the ones that aren't, Maddox and Avonte Maddox, McPherson and Justin Evans, and the rest of the guys are, whether they're on IR or whatnot, whatever the case may be. But going into Seattle is not going to be a tough task. I mean, it's not going to be an easy task at all. Sorry. Not going to be an easy task. Whether it's Geno Smith, whether it's Drew Lock, and I'm telling you right now, don't be afraid to tackle DK Metcalf this week, because Metcalf will go off. And Metcalf has been a hothead all year, and Metcalf, there are games with Seattle where Metcalf is barely even getting the ball at times. Like, he's mostly a first half receiver, and they got a lot of speed with Lockett. And JSN has been a fantastic player, especially from sideline to side. Some of those sideline catches and some of those on the side catches have been fantastic from him. Very good receiver. Offensive line, I think is pretty good. Obviously, they're that great, not bad, but I think, there's enough time for them to get protection. But they've had offensive line issues as well. So, I could say, defensive line's got to get pressure on Drew Lock or Geno Smith, but at the same time, it's like this scheme is just not working. And getting pressure at your defensive line is going to be almost impossible when you're playing off the ball way too much and can't have trust in your guys, to make plays. And we'll see. We'll see. So just a little deep dive into the blitz, a little deep dive into what they're doing at practice, which is ridiculous, and obviously the injury report. So yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one. See you later. Shakes, what up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.